Today is Sunday and we had a really nice walk this morning around the cemetery. What you're looking at is my very dirty table that I use for eco-printing and other dye related activities. So I had a really nice walk this morning, as I was saying, and the reason that's important is because I have a bunch of plants that I'm going to be sorting out for eco-printing. But first, I want to take a look at this cloth that I have soaking in avocado dye. I'm going to be adding some more dye to that a little bit later, but for now I'm just going to cover it up so it stays moist and get it out of the way. Just 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. So, like I said, I have this gigantic thing of plants. It's too big to fit in the camera right now, but what I want to do is sort it all out, and I'm going to make a sumac tea to create tannins. So I'm going to just grab a jar from over here, and I'm going to put my sumac berries inside this jar. So let's start sorting out these leaves. So this is the leaf of the sumac plant, the sumac tree. So I'll set the leaves over here to the side. Some of what I'm doing might be slightly out of frame, but just stick with me here. Okay, so I collected an actual ton of sumac today. So let me just snap this off and show you what I'm talking about. So this is the berries of the sumac tree. You've probably seen these growing everywhere, wild by the roadside. Some people keep them on their property because they're a very beautiful plant. So what we're going to do is we're just going to toss them all the berries in this jar. Sumac is a really cool plant. It has like a really nice has a lot of really interesting things about it. So number one, when you're eco-printing, the leaves give you an incredible print because they're very high in tannin, meaning they will make a really nice black print. So I'm just going to separate all the large branches off of the main branch because I'm not going to be using the main branch for anything. And I really just want to get all my leaves sorted out because I have a bunch of mordanted cloth. You might have seen on my Instagram, I've been mordanting cloth and hanging it on a clothesline that I fashioned outside the front of my house because I have so many gardens in my backyard that it's a little difficult to run a clothesline in my yard until maybe garden season's over because my plants are so big right now. I wish I'd thought of that earlier in the season, but I didn't. So here is the big branch of the sumac plant. So the cool thing about it is it's this really fuzzy, nice, like, I don't know. It's just got this really cool fuzzy texture to it. It's almost like a young antler, like on a deer. It's really cool. So I won't be using that for anything. So I'll just set it aside. And then I'll go to the next pile of sumac here. Just separating all these branches of leaves. And removing the berries. Pop them in the jar. So if you're lucky enough to have, this may sound funny, but since the beginning of the pandemic, my family, we have felt the most safe walking around in cemeteries because not a lot of people congregate there. So it's kind of a nice place to go for walks, especially because I have small children who don't always want to stay with you when you're going places. So taking a walk with a toddler can be a little bit challenging because you have to consider a lot of factors like traffic and of course now being around other people. She does wear a mask, but you know, sometimes it's nice when you're outside to just try to keep things a little bit normal if you can. So we just have been trying to do that by taking walks in places that aren't super populated. One of the other things that's actually really nice about cemeteries is that they're often really beautiful places to enjoy nature. So you'll see everything from you know, interesting insects to like really cool birds. We saw a hawk a couple of weeks ago, a red-tailed hawk, and it was absolutely beautiful. It was actually quite close to us, and that was nice. And I've seen a lot of interesting insects. The plants that I see at the cemeteries near my home are very diverse. There's a couple of graveyards we go to that, like, I feel like the owner or the manager is like a botanist because like it's amazing the plants that you find. Okay, so that is my big huge pile of sumac. So I'm going to just move it out of the way and then go through some of the other plants that I have. And hopefully you can hear me okay. I have a new mic on the camera and I think I have it on. Technology is not my strong point some days. So this is my trash, which is actually going to go in my green bin. And then one of the other nice things about cemeteries is that sometimes when plants are no longer pretty and fresh, the custodians will remove them from the plots and dispose of them. And usually, funny enough, there is some kind of an area in every cemetery where they take plant material to throw it away or to basically compost it. So you can actually find a lot of really interesting plants that way. I know it may sound a little weird, but they're just plants. So this is some fern that I picked as well, so I'll set that aside. One plant that's really amazing for eco-printing with is eucalyptus. And this is my favorite kind of eucalyptus. This is silver dollar eucalyptus. So it's not completely fresh. And I don't live in Australia, so we don't have this growing everywhere like they do. So this is the kind of thing that you would have to get from a florist, and actually the stems can be very expensive. I've been seeing them listed for about $10 to $15 for like 3 stems of this eucalyptus. So this was in the compost pile today, so I definitely took advantage of it and will be using it in eco-printing. And then, as with every time I do some printing, I try something I've never tried before. So today I will be trying a few different things I've never tried. So one are some more plants that I got from the waste pile. And these are like little purple flowers. I'm not exactly sure what they were, but they're nice. And then I also wanted to see if this sort of wheatgrass looking plant, if it would do anything eco-printing. So then, just move my big bin here out of the way and get rid of my waste, finally. So I will now maybe get... Actually, I'll wait. I will boil water for this. Actually, I'm going to do that now. Just hold tight 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. So now we have a kettle of water boiling for this sumac tea. So I will move this out of the way, and I will sort through some more of the plants. So these leaves are from the northern catalpa tree. I knew nothing about this tree until I saw it at the cemetery. So it is a beautiful tree. They're actually so huge. They're massive, and they grow these very long green pods, which I should have grabbed one to show you. Maybe I will again, because I just sort of put the question out there to my eco-printing friends if they know if you can make a tannin out of catalpa pods, because a lot of things like green chestnuts or black walnuts, when they're still green and they're in their casings, they're really good for making a tannin out of. So I might try doing so with catalpa pods, because nobody really knew, but I got some great hints about how I could try doing that. So just take the pods, you know, put boiling water on them, put them in a jar, put them in the sun. And, you know, if you start to see between a few hours and a few days the color changing, then you'll start to understand if there is a good amount of tannin. So those are my catalpa leaves. Then I have a bunch of oak leaves. Oak leaves. This, I think, I can't remember. This might just be more sumac, actually. No, it's not. It's similar to sumac. I'm not sure if it's young sumac. It might be. No, it's not. It's different. And then I have castor oil plant. More catalpa. These I'm not exactly sure. They were growing on a vine. I'm not 100% sure what they are. Then I found this nice ivy, which I might just see what it does. And I grabbed some little purple flowers. And then just some sort of dying stems of, I think it might even be, no, it's not the same purple flowers, but it's a similar one. See how large these catalpa leaves get? They're very big. That's my hand for reference. And then just some interesting variegated stem that I found. Oak leaves, more oak leaves. Actually, these aren't oak leaves. These are oak leaves. I'm not sure what these are. Some maple. And then I found some of this in the waste pile. It's like an interesting purpley plant. I'm actually thinking about not using it. Maybe, I don't know. I almost want to put it in water and see if I could propagate it. It feels like a succulent. I don't know, it's interesting. And the same with this. This is a flowering plant. So I don't know what I'll do with those yet. I might try to propagate them. And I found some marigolds, and they are really nice to dye with. Mostly sort of yellowy tones, but a couple orange. Bit of castor bean, more catalpa. This is more of this mysterious plant. I need to look it up and find out what it is. This is just a couple of different, actually this is the one that's unique. That's a different plant, I'm not sure what it is. And another one, I just grab random plants that look different, just to test them out. I forget what these are. I forget, but I did look it up today. I want to say like some kind of a juniper or something, but I could be wrong. It's hard to memorize like so many plants. Like I'm learning the plants, but then sometimes I just forget because I kind of replace the knowledge in my brain with something else. Now, I've never tried eco-printing anything with evergreens of any kind before, so I thought I would do an experiment, and I grabbed some of this variety and some of this variety, just pine. Almost through these here. And then I don't know exactly what this is, but it's got these interesting little seed kind of pod thingies. So I don't know what kind of plant that is, but if you know and you want to let me know in the comments, that would be awesome. More maple. I think we're getting down to the bottom here. More of these guys. Those could be sycamore. And then more of that interesting kind of seed poddy. They almost look like little kind of pine cones, or like something that would grow on like a what's the word, like the Pilea rosso plant, like those long flowering stems. And I found a little bit of shed birch bark. Some has some lichen on it. And I found some interesting leaves. So I don't know what these are, but I think they're kind of a gardener's plant. It's not a wild plant around here. They're purple on the back, so we'll see what happens with those. Sounds like my kettle is just about boiling now. And I need to be careful because I have not preheated my jar, which you should always do. If you're a canner, you know that. You should always preheat your jar so that you don't have any kind of cracking your jar if possible. It still can happen sometimes when you're canning. It's only ever happened to me one time, and I've done a lot of canning. So I'm just going to let the water cool just a little bit while I sort out the rest of this. Then the last thing that I got here is just a whole bunch of mostly green acorns. So I'm going to also be making a tannin out of those. To do that, I'm going to be cracking them and putting them like in a jar, the same as like my sumac, and making basically a tea out of them, and then also cooling them, reboiling them. I'm just going to move my plants aside here. Now that they're sorted into plant family, leaf families, just kind of move them out of the way. Move this bark out of the way. I'll bring this sumac back here. And I will make the tea. So I think we'll just start a little gently here. And we'll pour right through the sumac slowly, It's like I said, I don't want to break this jar. See their natural, beautiful, purpley red color. And I can see the water's turning a bit of a gold. So that's kind of an indication that this is a high tannin plant. Okay, so that's as full as I need it to be. And I'm just going to close the lid. And then I'm not going to really move it a whole lot. I'm just going to let it sit here. It looks really beautiful though inside the jar. So that is what I'm going to do for now. I may grab some more footage when I start eco-printing. I have to lay my cloth down and find another place for all these plants that I've sorted. So thanks for tuning in. Hey, happy Monday morning. So I'm here with a bundle that I just took out of the steam pot about an hour ago. And I'm going to open it up and see what has happened. So this particular plant selection I found at the local graveyard where we walk all the time, and it's kind of an experiment because I don't know what a lot of the plants will do, and also this is the second use of the cloth that I am using to carry the tannin. Usually you want to wash your cloth between printing, but this one I just wanted to dilute the tannin a little bit. So I don't know if this will work or not because all of the variables are kind of uncontrolled. But that's half the fun of plant dyeing. I also started a notebook today to kind of help me document my process. These knots are so much easier to take out once this yarn is dry. And now there's a plane going overhead. My daughter is banging on the door. She wants to come outside, but we're just going to leave her in there for a minute. Little ones, they always want to do what you're doing, which is actually kind of cute. And she does a lot of what I'm doing, so it's nice. Just unraveling. Okay, there it is. Now let's open it up and see what we have. So you can still see some of on the end here. I didn't have the cloth all the way down because I wanted to try to keep some of the gold of the mordant, but I'm already seeing something awesome, and that is from castor bean. But it's actually printing on the carrier, so hopefully it will do the same on the cloth. What I see right now is quite dark. So take the rod away. So that means there was a good amount of tannin in there. Now, let's take the carrier cloth away. Okay. So you can see this has a lot of tannin in it. So let's just get the cloth out here in the light. So it looks like we're going to have a pretty gold cloth still. Sort of a nice blend. So this is a big piece of sumac. I'll just pick that up. This is a trifold cloth, so we're going to have 3 sort of separate effects from the plants. So on this side I just literally laid long branches of sumac. So it looks like one of our plants was acidic because we have some white bleaching of the cloth, which is really interesting. So we get some of the bits of sumac up here, and it has printed really nicely. More sumac. Okay. Now for fold number 2. And this is where some of the weird stuff was used to see what's happening. So that's some really nice speckling. Wow, that's from fern. And sycamore leaves. And okay, we're getting into some of the unusual stuff. So this is like an evergreen. So we'll pull those off. So the evergreen left some interesting markings, almost like a resist. It's like anything that had a lot of tannin kind of went in and around it, and maybe the very ends had more tannin. I also have some pine. I think it sort of did the same sort of thing. Oh wow, so this is really neat. The you can see from the pine, the branches left these little bitty dots. That's really cool. And there's more over here, and actually I got some nice green from some leaf here. Sorry for the noise, that's our air conditioner turning on. I'm in the backyard today. This was just kind of a mystery vine plant that I found. It looks like it left some green, which is cool. Now these large leaves are catalpa, and wow, they really print. They give a nice green. They're a huge leaf, so it's nice to know that. So here's another leaf. This is, what is this? This is the castor plant, I think. Yeah, castor bean. And then these, that was castor bean as well. On the back is sumac. Just open up this end, and here we have more sumac. I would say sumac is the North American equivalent of the eucalyptus in Australia, to get that nice black deep dye. So I think the bleaching is coming from whatever we have on the inside here. So now we have to go to the third layer. So I'll just pull this back up here, and we'll unfurl. Woo! The wind is picking up, so some of this I might not have to do. Okay, let's see what we got here. Sorry, we have plants flying all over the place. Okay, so this was a mystery leaf. I have no idea what it was, but it was growing in a garden. I'm probably going to go collect more of those because look at this print. That is amazing. And I need to identify this plant. So if you know what this is, please let me know. These are marigolds. They left a little bit of a yellowing around black, which is awesome. This was a stem of flowers from a bouquet that died. And I did use some birch bark on here. I'm trying to see where I can see evidence. I don't right now. I have pictures of what I did though, so I can look back at my notes. These were little purple flowers. They didn't really do much of anything. And then we have silver dollar eucalyptus, which of course prints amazing. So I had 2 stems, and that's one. That's both sides. So that printed really well. And then here we have some bleaching and some color. Okay, so this is from a mysterious plant. I don't even know what it was, but it felt like a succulent, and it was red. And yeah, it was acidic, I guess, because it did lots of bleaching, which is really nice. And there's a piece of birch bark. I think it just left some gray behind, maybe. Roll these up. There is some really nice, oh yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to have to go back and collect more plants from this source. Now this was a branch with these little, I don't know what they were, but that was marigold. Left a really nice black. Oh, and then there was this stem. I don't know what happened. I will see what this stem did. Let's see here. What do we have? Okay, so there's the marking from the stem. You can see the little dots from the buds. Okay, so that's all the plants I think for this one. And I could not be more pleased with this. Wow, just wow. That is beautiful. I don't know how much you can see, but it's really, really pretty. So yeah, sorry if the footage is kind of not the best. I'm just trying to do this really quick in the backyard because it's a busy day today. Yay! It's a fairy circle or a fairy ring. These are all little mushrooms and their spores deposited in this circle. Fairy circle. Are those deer? Oh, look at the baby. Okay, let's not scare them. That was pretty cool, right? You want to go in the forest with the deers? No, they're too fast. They're probably like really far by now. But it was nice to see them, right? Yeah.